Peace, family, and I hope y'all been paying attention. I hope y'all been paying attention to what's going on across the globe right now, especially with this heated conflict that's been mounting for years between the United States of America and the entire Europe. Yeah, yeah, it's about to go down. I know this administration got us kind of focused on what's going on over here and all types of other things. We see the immigration, we see the different foreign policies that have gotten other countries looking at us sideways, or at least our administration sideways, like these tariffs and different trade regulations that this administration wants to impose. What this is really all about is the mounting and brewing conflict between the United States of America and the entire Europe. And this is not, it did not start with this administration at all. It did not start with this. We're talking about something 20 years back that's been in motion. This plan, this play has been in motion for a good 20 years with Europe basically trying to sabotage American trade unions. And now you see America trying to bring back their empire. They're trying to bring back the American empire, that white, blue blood American empire. This is what we're seeing, and this is why we have the administration we have in right now. I know a lot of people believe that if we didn't have this administration, this wouldn't be happening, but that's far from the truth. That is far from the truth. This administration is the tool that's being used, is the face, is the believable, like we believe this guy. When he goes out there and says all of this stuff, we believe he believes that. We believe he's that treacherous. We believe he's that stupid in some cases. We believe he's that arrogant. And he may well be a lot of these things. I'm not even going to try to take anything away from him that he deserves, because he probably deserves every scumbag title that we put on this guy. But, which they all do, by the way. But my point is that he is the believable face. But we say, I got him down for that. When he does something, or when someone tells you, yeah, he said he's gonna do this, or he's talking about doing that, and they want to build a wall in Mexico, or just all the crazy shit that he be saying, it's all believable. It's believable coming from this guy. The temper tantrums, the fits, the posturing, the threatening of other nations, because that's what's going on right now. See, right now, the American empire is very, very weak, and they can't help but tell on themselves. They can't help but tell on themselves. This is what's going on right now. And so you see Donald Trump's administration basically trying to force Canada, their northern neighbor, force them into submission, basically. Force them into a position where they are now a part of the United States. They're basically the northern state of the United States of America. That's basically what this guy or this administration is trying to usher in. Now, it's not just this administration. This is a plan that's been in effect, but this administration was assigned the task. Just like with AFRICOM and Obama, or just like with Bush going into Afghanistan and regaining the poppy fields. There's a plan, and we need the believable villain or the believable culprit in charge. We need the person that you're going to believe. You need the person that when we put the blame on, it's so we believe it. And that's what we're looking at right now. So we're seeing the tariffs being put on Canada and the regulations being placed, which is a bully tactic, because the U.S. does not have the force that they're claiming to have. They don't have the might, so they're trying to use their reputation. They're trying to go off of you see what I did. You know the type of work that I put in. Even this demonstration in South America, in Venezuela, they're trying to show they still have force and might, where they can just in a snap of a finger go remove a president out of a nation, bring them over to an American jail, and then start making threats about who they're going to go after next. Right? But this is all a shit show. I keep telling you that, but I keep saying that, but some of you people are convinced with the propaganda, whether it's left or right, whether you're a liberal donkey or a MAGA monkey. A lot of you people have been fooled one way or another into believing that some type of salvation or some type of help or anything lies within that when both sides want to eat you. Both sides want you as a meal and have the same imperialistic and colonistic endeavors and admirations and aspirations. They just speak a different language. That's it. You force Canada into say the submission. Now you go over to Greenland, you annex Greenland. Now these is Western nations. We haven't really seen this. We haven't seen Western countries fight since World War II. That's the last time we seen two Western countries have an all-out war. And right now we are about to see the entire Western world at war and collapse, because this is inevitable. This is prophecy. Whether you believe it or not, all of this shit has been prophesized. America, her fall has been talked about. Now you got to understand why Canada and why is this important. Well, 85% of the energy that Canada exports goes to America, which makes Canada America's largest energy import. Now remember that. Remember I told you. Remember that. Now hold that thought about the energy. All right. Now look at Greenland real quick. Right. What is it so important? Why does America feel the need to take Greenland? Because that's the other country. America wants to put Canada into a submissive state where they pretty much lose their sovereign right as a nation and become annexed to the U.S., as well as Greenland. We've seen the president say at his State of the Union speech, Greenland, we want you, we're coming for you, we're going to get you one way or another. What is the motivation behind Greenland? They claim the motivation behind taking Greenland is for military strategic positioning. It's vital for the security of America, for our national security. It is very important strategically for them to have Greenland, right? That's what they're telling us. But if you look a little closer, I'm pretty sure that couldn't be further from the truth. In fact, knowing anything about Greenland, Greenland has roughly 1.5 million metric tons of untapped raw mineral resources, which would be vital for advanced technology such as electrical vehicles and military equipment. Like, this is what they're really eyeing. They're eyeing these minerals. It's almost like some vibranium type shit they got up there. Real talk. And they eyeing the minerals for future technology. So you see the play here, right? You see what's at stake. This is why the entire European Union has backed Greenland. Because they see this coming. They know what's going on. We know that they have this 1.5 million metric tons of these minerals and resources in the ground of Greenland. And we know that 85% of Canada's exported energy goes to the United States of America. Why is that so important? Now let's look what's going on with the UAE, the United Arab Emirates, right? Donald Trump's administration has brokered a $20 billion deal for the UAE to come into America and build data centers on American soil. Now, a lot of people don't really understand what that really means or what it actually is going to take for these data centers to exist on American soil. And what it's going to take is energy, a lot of energy. And $20 billion worth of data centers. I don't know how many data centers that's going to be, but I do know that that's going to be a lot of American energy used. That goes without being said, which ironically, America in the past 20 years has become an energy exporter themselves. But with $20 billion worth of data centers on American soil, that's pretty much going to sap the American energy source. Like, let's look at the numbers real quick. A medium data center, which is about 10,000 to 50,000 square feet, might use about 500 kilowatts to 2 megawatts. Whereas a large and hyperscale data center, which is what I'm pretty sure they're gonna be putting over here. I'm pretty sure they ain't gonna be putting no little rinky-dink shit up here. But a large hyperscale data center can easily exceed 10 megawatts, with some consuming over 100 megawatts. That's a 90 megawatt difference. That's a huge difference right there. So between 10 megawatts and 100 megawatts, which is equivalent to powering hundreds of thousands of homes. We're talking about one large hyperscale center uses enough energy to power hundreds of thousands of homes. So we'll say 200,000. That's hundreds, right? Although it could be 300, 400, it could be 500. Hundreds of thousands of homes. One large hyperscale data center would use. That's how much energy it would consume. And we don't know how many they actually plan on building. We know they have a $20 billion investment. So we could see 10, we could see 20 of them. And what is that going to do to our energy source? America will not be able to export energy whatsoever with that type of consumption. Now let's look and see what kind of consumption that we use. See, right now, U.S. data centers in the U.S. alone use 167 terawatt hours. And just last year, U.S. data centers used 1.5% of global electricity. So they use 1.5% of the globe's electricity, which is actually projected to double next year just based off of AI technology. Just off of the AI. We're not even talking about this $20 billion worth of data centers that will be built in North America or in the United States. We're not even talking about the $20 billion worth of data centers that will be built within the United States of America. So we're talking about without that. Without that, they're looking to be about 3% of the globe, of the planet's electric source. They're using up 3% without the 20 billion. So think about now, and it's not just, damn, man, I can't even get a break. And that's just the energy. And that's just the electricity we're talking about. We're not even talking about how many gallons of water is going to be needed for cooling purposes. Now this whole Canadian play, and even the whole Greenland Canadian play, makes a lot more sense now. What we're looking at is the cannibalization of the Western world. The UAE, which is one of the newest members of BRICS, along with Egypt, Indonesia, and Iran. This is the BRICS. This is BRICS. The UAE is a part of BRICS and is building $20 billion worth of data centers on U.S. soil. So Canada makes all the sense in the world, because you're actually going to need that energy now. Because we know U.S. will not be able to export any energy. United States of America will no longer be able to export energy with that type of energy being used. So it's pretty much essential for them to have to get Canada now. You see the strategy, you see the play. Meanwhile, the European Union is already facing collapse. Just with the African nations deciding, you know what, we not giving, especially France, just with the African nations saying, you know what, we tired of the exploitation, we tired of giving y'all our resources in this unfair exchange. You want to meet with us, you got to talk to us as equals and deal with us on a fair business table. And we're seeing that this is basically causing France, which is on the brink of collapse in itself. Whereas before, the European Union was able to bail France out, not no more. Because the European Union itself is on its last leg. This is why it's important for them to collapse America. You see, because they're fighting over these resources right now. And they're cannibalizing each other over it. and this is all prophecy. This is all predicted. There's nothing that could be done. Doesn't matter who was going to be president. These plans was already in play. They just needed a president that was believable. They just needed somebody that you would believe is the guy to blame. They needed the person you believe would carry something like this out. But to believe that this is a president making this call lets me know you don't even understand how the American system works. And I ain't talking about what you learned in school with your judicial branch, your legislative branch, and your executive branch. I'm talking about the real CEOs that run this nation and what their agenda really is. And what we're seeing is an inevitability. So you got Trump trying to bully Canada based off of a reputation. That's why they go down there in South America and put on that big spectacle, go down there and within a snap of a finger, take a president up out of his palace, and bring his ass right back to America with no casualties. That's a spectacle right there. So you got the European Union, which is basically on its last leg in itself, with this effort to stop America from taking Greenland. And then, of course, Canada, which is a European ally, might as well be on the European continent. I mean, they still got the Queen Elizabeth on their money. So we know where their allegiance is. So we're seeing this tug of war over energy resources and the ability to build future technology. That's the play right now. We are absolutely going to see the fall of the Western world. And the European Union is on its last leg itself. I mean, it's failing. Between its economic weakness, geopolitical vulnerability, along with its demographic decline, it's over for the European Union. It's over. And this is why the Western world has placated its aggression onto each other and is now attacking and eating each other. This is the final stage. This is it. It's unfortunate because a lot of y'all are getting mixed up in this. This is what this whole immigration shit is even about. This is why white nationalism and racism is so blatant right now and it's being put in our faces so strong right now because they're using that as a tool. It's real, but it's a tool that's being used. And the reason being is right now we're seeing the restructuring of the American empire and the re-whitening of the American empire, somewhat like in the 1800s when they flooded the gates with Europeans into the United States. We're seeing something similar to that, but the difference is because white people in America are about to be the biggest minority group in America. And so now if you annex a Canada, if you annex a Greenland, what are you doing? You annexing a nation of white people, right? That's exactly what you're doing. You're repopulating your nation or your nationality. You're repopulating your nationality with more white people. So you're going through a mass deportation of brown and black people while looking to increase the white population in America. This is why you see white South Americans being welcomed over here and treated as victims in America. They're trying to repopulate. There's so much more I want to touch on, so I think I'm just going to make a part 2 to this video because I'm just really scratching the surface with y'all right now. But I don't want to make these videos too long. I want to try to at least be able to keep your attention span with these videos. So I'll make another video. I'll make a part 2 to this. But I hope y'all are paying attention and seeing the play because our comfortability level is about to change drastically. We are about to see one of the biggest, we are about to see the biggest war that we've ever heard about. We're about to witness it in our lifetime. We are about to witness the greatest war ever witnessed in our lifetime. And the result, we are going to lose a lot of comfortability because we may even see some of that fought on American soil.